Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to my Venus series. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the self-worth of Venus in Aquarius / Aquarius ruling the second house within astrology. Now before we do get started, if you would like to know more information about the Venus signs, the Venus houses, the Taurus house along with the second house within astrology, then I have created a Taurus season / archetype ebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link to the ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. So with all those introductions out of the way, Venus in Aquarius / Aquarius ruling the second house, let's do this. Okay, so let's firstly start off by explaining the second house within astrology. Now, the second house can provide us with an indication into how our identity and security is formed based upon the things that we attach ourselves to, whether that be money, materials, people, or our beliefs and so on. Furthermore, it is the second house that can be viewed as representing the stage in our lives or the time in our lives by which we become more consciously aware of our own bodies. And according to Howard Sass-Pertaz, from around 6 months old, we start to recognize that we have a body, but research also suggests that we start to become more self-aware from around 18 months old. Therefore, it is from the second house that we start to build upon who we are based upon the material world and how we actually relate and reflect on the material world. So it could be suggested that the items and the materials and the products that you buy are a reflection of yourself in that way, because they can reflect different things about you. So for example, your taste, your style, your likes, your dislikes, all these very Phoenician things. But they can also reflect your financial situation as well as your skills and your talents as well. So for example, if you were to purchase a $30 speaker over a $100 speaker, well, that's going to reflect then potentially how much money you are earning. But also, would you really be able to own that speaker if not for being skilled within the particular job that you work in order to afford that new speaker in the first place? Ultimately, it is from the second house that we form our own sense of self-worth and value. So what do you value? Who do you value? Do you value yourself and others? And what do you base your self-worth upon and why? This is essentially about you going outside of yourself in order to locate what is happening within yourself. Okay, so what we notice with those of you who have this placement, Venus in Aquarius and Aquarius ruling the second house, by which I'm going to refer to as Aquarius throughout this video, we notice that materials and physical security might have been provided to you in a somewhat radical way, meaning that there could have been extreme changes that would take place. So for example, 1 minute your financial providers are together, right? But then the next minute they're divorced. 1 minute your financial provider has a job, the next minute they get told that their services are no longer required. But you know, another possibility here could be that maybe it was that you and your family, you suddenly had to get up, just pack up all of your things and move location. So move to a different household for your physical security in that way. So maybe that just happened really suddenly, or maybe it's that you did this, Aquarius. You might have actually moved on your own pretty suddenly for your own physical security. Perhaps you are the type of Aquarius who wants to do it all on your own as this independent individual. And with that in mind, yes, you could say that this is part of your nature, Aquarius, but it's still a question of what the material world was telling you about yourself in order for you to make this certain change or in order to take this action. So for example, Maybe a parent was absent from your life growing up, either physically, mentally, emotionally. Perhaps the absence of this parent actually resulted in potential financial difficulty for you and others living within your household. Though still, it could have been due to the absence of this certain parent or financial provider that you then develop to your own point of view when it comes to how you provide for yourself financially and physically. Another example here actually might be, Aquarius, that you didn't agree with the sort of ins and outs, the structures of how things were ran financially or physically, or when it came to how your financial providers provided for you, you just might not have agreed with it. And so you may have just found yourself on this constant roller coaster of just financial sudden changes happening, where maybe one minute, you know, the finances were up and there was food being provided and there was enough for everybody, but then the next minute things were a bit lower, a bit down on the other end of it. And so it could have caused a bit of frustration because you were constantly having to keep up with these sudden changes happening. However, you, Aquarius, you might not have wanted to have been part of all of this going on, all of this commotion, and so maybe you wanted to break free from being just pushed and pulled around and expected to conform with your financial provider's will, resulting in you, Aquarius, setting off on this whole, oh, I'll just do it myself, I'll do it my own way, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And so you might actually be that type of Aquarius who actually earns an income through doing things your own way. Even when it comes to the certain materials and items that you have, or when it comes to the food that you purchase, or how you spend your money and manage your money, you want to be able to have your own freedom over these things, so to do things in your own original way of doing it, where basically you bring your own individuality regardless of the boundaries, regardless of the barriers that can hold you back. So with that in mind, Aquarius, you might be really good at thinking on your feet if it means gaining finances and different materials for yourself. You might actually be able to come up with many creative and inventive ideas as to how to earn an income. However, Aquarius, what can also come with this energy is the desire to always rise up against others who may threaten or become sort of, you may perceive them as a threat basically, to your physical security. For example, right, you could enter into a new role or a new position, Aquarius, where you're fully aware of the sort of organization's rules, you know, their regulations, how everything functions. But even though, yes, you accepted the certain structure, even though you might have signed the contract and the agreements to the terms and conditions, you, Aquarius, you still might go into that job and cause a little bit of a commotion, a little bit of havoc in that role towards that organization if people within that organization try to violate your rights as a valuable employee. But not just your rights, but the rights of other employees, the rights of everybody. And if others try to talk over you, for example, or undermine your intelligence, for example, you're not going to stand for it. You are about having intellectual and emotional discussions with others, and you love to engage with others on a highly mental level. And so if you are earning a living or working in a particular job that provides you with physical and financial security, you will expect to be treated with equality and with fairness within that particular role or position. But the thing is that when it does come to your self-worth, it might be that you actually base much of your self-worth upon how much you are valued as an individual. And so what can come with this is it can come with some potential implications. Because whilst, yes, you may be in a certain position or role where you know the structures of how that all goes, you may seek to create change whenever change was not even asked for. You may seek to create change whenever not everybody agrees with that change, but instead of you remaining objective, which is what you're really supposed to do, which is really great for you with this placement, you might actually take it quite personally and you might stick or hold on to your certain ideals, to your certain concepts, but it's really just about you coming to understand whenever you do this, Aquarius. See, you don't want to be part of the in crowd, but you wish to be treated as if you are part of the in crowd at the same time. So for example, right, maybe you're the type of Aquarius who is like, screw the system, it's no good anyway, screw politics and voting, don't vote, all this, right? So you're choosing to not associate with politics, you're choosing to not give it any lip service. You're just like, no, I hate politics, I don't want to go near politics, nobody should vote, and it's quite abrupt. But then the moment that someone else brings up a political viewpoint, you just might jump in with everything that you've researched and what you know as you spit out all of your ideas and your thoughts, acting like you know exactly what you're talking about, even if you have no idea what you're talking about. You just want to firmly just say what you want to say, but it can be done so in a very harsh manner. So what you're kind of doing in this instance is that you're becoming blinded by your own strong ideals and your own strong beliefs, but yet it's these very things that you have the tendency of pushing onto other people. Basically, Aquarius, there can just be a tendency of you attaching really tightly to your individuality because you value it so much, but yet attachment is the very thing that you most likely cannot stand. And why might this be, Aquarius? Well, the thing about attachment is that it really does tie in very well with our emotional world, Aquarius. So to emotionally connect with a person or an item or a particular experience. However, when it does come to the material world and when it comes to our relationships, of course, Venus can be connected with attraction in that way, both to the physical items we attract to ourselves and also when it comes to attraction to other people. Well, what comes with these things? The emotion that comes with these things. Well, that is an emotion that you may not be very fond of, and that emotion is jealousy. Yes, Aquarius, this emotion is an emotion that you may not want to associate with overly a lot, because this emotion can be relatively difficult for you to deal with, Aquarius, because to become jealous towards a partner or a material item or towards a certain, way of earning money, well, it can suggest that you're forming an attachment. There's a bit of an attachment to that person or to that thing. Attachment is the very thing that you wish to avoid, but yet you attach your ideal towards your own value system, towards your own self-worth. For example, maybe you're in a relationship, right? And you enter into that relationship with this understanding as to how you wish to be treated as an equal party from the other person. But whilst that partner or person might have a different love language, you might then promote change if you feel that that person is not treating you fairly or equally in your eyes, all whilst you refuse to change things about yourself. You basically might enter into situations where you seek to promote change if you have a desire to do so. But this change can actually be either beneficial or detrimental. I mean, just because you think something should be changed, it doesn't mean that everybody else should be on board. But at the same time, I'm sure it is infuriating, Aquarius, when you know that something should or must be changed whilst everybody just rolls over and does nothing. I'm sure it's frustrating, Aquarius. I'm sure it feels like you're alone in your desired outcome. I'm sure you wish that they would only wake up one day. If only they could wake up and see. So for example, if only that friend could see the damage that she or he is doing to themselves through a particular relationship that they're in, if only that person could see that the organization that they're working in is actually greedy and is just taking them for all they're worth. If only the collective could see that technology and electronics are separating us more than they are bringing us together. But you know what, Aquarius? I understand. I understand what it feels like to be screaming inside due to how blinded we have become. But what you are coming to learn, Aquarius, is that you have what it takes to be the change that you want to see in others. So for example, that guy that is doing something that really pisses you off, well, ask yourself, honestly, do you do the same thing? Have you ever done the same thing that guy is doing that pisses you off so much, or that these people are doing that pisses you off so much? And even if you haven't, how many other people have? Does that mean that if, for example, 10 people have done it and you haven't done it, does that mean that them doing it is wrong and you're right? Or does it mean that them doing it is right and you're wrong? And what is right and wrong, Aquarius? How do you view right and wrong? Aquarius, you might look out into society and just think to yourself, I can't believe that that's a trend, or no one even has any originality anymore, or where did individual style go? But what makes your style? What makes your approach so original and individual? Are we not all influenced by our outer environment, regardless if we are aware of it or not? Was it that things never stayed the same for too long? Did you ever feel a bit out of place? Did you have no choice but to do things your own individual way because nobody else seemed to get you anyway? Or is it that you possess no desire to be materialistic, and so you wish to take yourself off the grid completely? Basically, Aquarius, you just might forever be on this lookout for new, desirable experiences, but what you're coming to learn is how you can establish what your values really are. So, do you value personal connection, or do you value personal freedom the most? Or is it that you wish to have both of these things within a relationship? And if it is that you wish to have both of these things in a relationship, how can they both exist in a healthy way? So really asking yourself honestly, authentically, do you think that it would work? And do you find it difficult to meet someone with these requirements? Now, I also would like to highlight here, Aquarius, that your self-worth might be inconsistent or a little bit idealistic. So for example, you might bite somebody's head off for complimenting you on something that you wish not to be complimented on, but yet you use that very thing that you're being complimented on as the thing to actually promote yourself. Then again, you might also be the type of Aquarius who is all about the unconventional lifestyle. So you might value this very way of living, but instead of being open to other people's lifestyles, you might try to change theirs by holding so firmly onto your own ideal of your own lifestyle. This is really about you becoming aware, Aquarius, of your tendency to be neglecting towards humankind, right? Even though you're about showing love and acceptance towards humankind, and that's the very power that can come with this placement or these placements. Basically, the key is found in not abusing your power of freedom. So instead of wanting to just break free from a certain relationship because it's stirring up emotions within you, but to actually just allow yourself to feel those emotions, you know? So to ask yourself, if you're in a relationship or partnership, why am I breaking free from this relationship or partnership? Is it that I'm afraid of having my freedom being taken away here? And what does freedom really mean to you at the end of the day, Aquarius? Maybe it's about assessing that for yourself. Like, what does it mean? What does it really mean to be free in your eyes? But above all else, Aquarius, if it is that you wish to see change in the world, how is it that you can actually be that very change that you wish to see? Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes concludes my video on the self-worth of Venus in Aquarius / Aquarius ruling the second house. Now, if you do happen to have any of these placements, it would be good to hear from you in the comment section to let me know what you thought of the video, but also just to provide some of your own personal experiences as well, because that would be really helpful. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click the subscribe button, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!